Well, hello everyone. Welcome once again to my channel, and I greatly appreciate you joining me for this kind of off-brand video that I have planned for you today. Um, this video I wasn't really planning to make. However, my friend Matt Street has really been promoting this new music, and he was interested in my take on this album. I knew I was going to get the album, but I didn't know I was going to do a video on it. So I'm happy to do this, and I hope you stay tuned. So the um, what I'm wanting to do here is break down the new album by Abba called Voyage. This was just released um, yesterday here in the United States, and I've had a chance to listen to it a couple times so I could get my full thoughts. The first time I listened to it, I was taking notes on the songs and kind of was listening to it with a studious ear. And the second time I listened to it just this morning, just as a refresher with my breakfast, and I just listened to it straight through as a piece. So first of all, let me show. There's the sticker, and as you can see, if it's zooming in, it's album's first new album in 40 years. So that's an accomplishment. The fact that all four original members are involved. Um, Here is the front cover. Like I said, it's called Voyage. And there's the back, and it opens up. So this is these are pictures of the new avatars, as they're called, that are going to accompany this album with a new tour that's supposed to happen, I think, starting next spring. And you can see it's a triple gatefold. It just has some credits there in the middle, and some more pictures of the clips. And let me show. There's the CD, again with the Eclipse theme, and the name of the album. And then it also comes with a couple different things. So here's the booklet, and again, more pictures of the Eclipse. It's got all the lyrics listed, and so that looks the same throughout. However, in the middle of the booklet, there's a new picture of the band in the studio sometime within the last 4 years. So the majority of this album was recorded between 2017 and 2021. So it's new recordings. And the last thing that the CD comes with is this little mini poster of the Eclipse, and you can see each quadrant there probably represents a different member of the group. Like I said, the majority of this was recorded within the last 4 years. There is one song, which I will talk about later, called Just a Notion, that was recorded in 1978, that they've added some new instrumentation to. So let me just go through. I've got a few notes here to break down the album. Let me give some background, and then I'll jump into track by track. So if you don't know anything about ABBA, obviously they're a quartet formed in the early 70s in Stockholm, Sweden. Their members are Agnetha, Bjorn, Benny, and Annifrid. Of course, their four initials, the first letter of each of their names, comprise ABBA. And as the hype sticker made note, the last album that they produced was 1981's The Visitors, and Voyage here is now their 9th album in their catalog. So again, not a massive discography like a lot of bands, especially bands that are formed in the 70s, but they're formed almost 50 years ago. So it's interesting just to have that few albums. But then again, the Eagles kind of the same. The Eagles don't have that many albums either, and the Eagles are still touring. Of course, ABBA in recent years has become popular with the the Mamma Mia play on Broadway. There's a couple of films out with Meryl Streep that are hugely popular. I know that different members of ABBA throughout the Mamma Mia run have been involved in that production and have made appearances um, at live like fan gatherings, at premieres and things like that. So they don't shy away from their legacy. Now there are a few um, hiccups. Obviously, when a band hasn't played in 40 years, um, the members, of course, two men, two women, were at one time both couples, and there was some divorce, there was some breakup, and from what I understand, and I'm not an ABBA expert by any means, but from what I understand, the two gentlemen of the group, Bjorn and Benny, they are responsible for all of the press and the media. The two ladies don't get involved with that, and I think they kind of have a contractual agreement that they're not together just in the studio. They work in the studio, they put in their 9 to 5 in the studio, and then they leave. Um, and Benny and Bjorn are really the two creative minds behind it. They produce the songs, the instrumentation, and then of course Annie Frid and Agnetha are the two singers, the two lead singers, and that's really always been the case. But ABBA, they've released some catchy poppy songs. I mean, their stuff is as catchy as like the Beach Boys, Phil Spector, just very pop oriented. So I don't want to make this too long, so let me just go in song by song here. The first song was one of the singles that they released called "I Still Have Faith in You." And this was one of the first couple of songs that were recorded, from what I understand, in these modern times, like from 2017 to now. I think this is one of the first two that they recorded. It's the opener. It's a big ballad. Lot of reminiscing in the lyrics, and the whole theme of the album is very nostalgic, very pining, kind of more somber, I would say. Not exactly Mamma Mia and Voulez-Vous, like it's not stuff like that. It's more somber. One of the lines is I remind myself of who we are, and it's just very very kind of tugs at you. And then the big chorus where they all come in singing "We do have it in us." It kind of reminded me of like a drinking song, like you're hanging out drinking with your friends in the bar. So that's kind of what that reminded me of, which kind of leads perfectly into the next song, which is called "You Danced With Me," which has a very Celtic feel. Again, drinking song kind of vibe to it, but the synths are kind of making up a lot of the song, the synthesizers. One of the lines is "I miss the good old times when you danced with me," and again, it's just thinking back on the days gone by. So it's a really good song. It's probably one of my top on the album. Number 3 is called "Little Things," which is a Christmas song. Essentially, they talk about Santa bringing little things to the children, and then there's kind of like a "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" motif in terms of like the instrumentation in the background. And then at the very end, there's a children's choir from Stockholm that sing the last verse. And it sounds, I mean, like the way that this children's choir sounds, it doesn't sound like it's like a modern recording. It sounds very, I don't know, it sounds older, like it sounds like 1800s to me. I don't know, something about it. But Little Things, it's kind of corny. It's not my favorite, but again, it's kind of Christmassy. Number 4, "Don't Shut Me Down." This one is very dancey. I thought it sounded like their song Fernando, kind of a little bit. It's got a classic ABBA feel. I wrote that down too. Just the piano playing, it just is like they're going down the piano, just like classic ABBA sounding. There's a synthesizer saxophone solo, which sounds pretty cool. And this was also one of the first two, this and "I Still Have Faith in You," that the band confirmed were the first two songs that they had finished up. I think this was around 2018 that they had confirmed that these were already done. I like that one a lot. Number 5, Just a Notion. This is the oldest song on the album. It was recorded in 1978, but was never officially released. You can really hear all 4 voices of the band, the ladies and the fellas. Kind of got a boogie-woogie sounding piano to it. There's great dual vocals, harmony from Annie and Agnetha, just great harmony. And I wrote that this one, the production sounds a lot like Phil Spector, like a lot. Like it sounds like the Phil Spector Christmas album. Kind of sounds like big bass, brass section, things like that. Number 6, I Can Be That Woman. It's kind of it's a beautiful story. This one probably, in terms of the lyrics, this one's probably the best. It's kind of, falling out of love, like, I could have been better, you could have been better. They kind of used, like, there's a character in it that she talks about the dog that they have, her and her partner or husband. She talks about the dog kind of being like an innocent character, just wagging his tail and looking up at you, just, not knowing what's going on. So that was a good song. Number 7 was called Keep an Eye on Dan. This one was very synth heavy. I kind of thought it sounded like Money, 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 their song. Kind of a minor key throughout it. And yeah, it was a good song. Like I said, very synth heavy. Number 8, probably my least favorite on the album. It's called Bumblebee. I just thought the lyrics were really corny. There's some good flute and like a glockenspiel kind of tinkering in the background instrumentation. It's an okay song, but it's probably not one that I'll talk about much. Number 9 is called No Doubt About It. Again, sounds like classic ABBA. It's a pop song. Heavy drums in it, strong drums in the mix. It's really a full band effect. Like, they use all the instrumentation really well in this song. The very end is a cool like call and response echo between the 2 female vocals. And again, this one sounds, it could have been an older ABBA song too, and I liked it a lot. Probably my second favorite. The last one, number 10, is called Ode to Freedom. Again, just like the beginning of the album, they chose a ballad to open and to close. It's got really heavy strings throughout this song. Great lyrics to it. I know the critics are kind of trying to figure out what the ode to, like, what they're trying to be free from. So that's kind of up in the air. Honestly, I thought they should have ended the album with I Still Have Faith in You. I think that would have been a better finish, because it's kind of got like that, we're all together in this. We do have it in us. So the track listing might have benefited from switching around a couple of songs. But anyway, overall, I would say it's a pretty strong album. It's not a really dancey, tap your foot kind of album. I'll probably give it I'd probably give it a B to maybe a B. I'd give it a B plus. Definitely not one of my favorite top 5 albums of 2021, but it's very good. And it's really cool that a band with all of its original members came together. They put aside their differences to put this album together. Now, lastly, and I know I'm going long on this video with these avatar characters. So what they're planning to do next spring is to do a tour where there's going to be a live band, and then these like avatar characters of ABBA, the way that they looked in their heyday. The 4 members put on these suits, and you can find pictures online. They put on these suits, and they recorded like all the movements and everything. And I think they did new vocals on like their big hits, but because they're all in their mid to late 70s, they don't want to tour. So they're going to do this special show, I think in London, at an arena built with the specifications for this show. And it's going to be called Abba Voyage. So that'll be neat to see. It should be cool. I know it's been delayed a couple times for different technical things. But anyway, check out this album, Abba Voyage. You can find it online, to stream it. I got mine at Barnes & Noble, but you can get it anywhere. So thank you all for watching. Let me know what y'all think of the album, and I will talk to you all very soon with some more videos.